Hey everybody, welcome to another Ryan and Rodrigo live. Hope you're all having a good weekend. Down here in Sao Paulo, we are in a tough lockdown. The government just ordered a big curfew. Everybody has to stay in. Yeah. Everybody is supposed to. Let's say that. That's better than has to. Everybody is supposed to be in by 8 o'clock every night. And so we are just sticking it out here in our homes. And Rodrigo, your wife actually works in a hospital, and so she probably has some really interesting, like firsthand experience about what is actually going on here. Could you fill us in a little bit? Give us some details about the situation on.
Sure. Um, I can't be too specific because I don't remember the numbers or anything like that. But what I can say is that my wife came home. No, she actually sent me a message on Thursday, Wednesday or Thursday. I don't remember. And she said, "There's a line of people waiting to be to get hospital to get treatment to get in the hospital." A line of about at that time, like 2, 3 days, 3, 4 days ago, 11 people were waiting in line to get to the intensive care treatment in a hospital. My wife is not the kind of person that uh, she's not the paranoid or exaggerated type of person like I am. So she has never talked to me like that. Like, look, be careful. But now Wednesday or Thursday, I don't remember. She did it. She said, "My son, he he'd been back to school for 2 weeks. Yeah, and she said, I think we better not take him to school anymore for a while. Things are not looking great." And she said, and every week we we stayed home so we could visit her parents. My mother, I stopped visiting for a while because my mom is immunodepressed. I forgot how to say that, but she has
Compromised.
compromised. Okay, so she has three conditions that uh, get her immunity system very low. So I I stopped going there for a while again, and we had been going to her mom and dad's house every 2 weeks, and she also said that we should stop doing that. She said, I think we better not go there, and we stopped going there as well. This week we didn't go. Uh, we go there to take something or to get something, but we stop the car. They give it to us. They hand it to us, and or we hand it to them, and but we don't get in anymore. So things are pretty pretty bad, and
Yeah,
I've heard.
and um,
Sorry.
it kind of snuck up on me at least because I think about 2 weeks ago I was talking to my parents and they asked me, "Oh, Ryan, how is the situation in Brazil? Is it's very bad? What's going on there?" And I told them, "Oh, it seems like it has been for a long time. It doesn't seem like it's getting any worse. It's getting any better. It seems like it's about the same." And I think that was about 10 days or 2 weeks ago. And then somehow in the last 10 days, I think, it just exploded.
Yeah.
Is that the feeling that you have too?
Yes, yes, and it seems very obvious what happened. Very obvious. It seems obvious to me, but I don't know if it's obvious for people. Uh, New Year's Eve, Christmas came, New Year's Eve. A lot of
Carnival.
people,
Carnival
yeah,
too. Yeah.
but first Christmas and New Year's Eve, a lot of people that hadn't been going out decided to look. I was home for 9 months, so I deserve that. we're gonna take tests, we're gonna travel anyway, so it's fine. I traveled before New Year's Eve, before Christmas, but I traveled for 4 days to the countryside. I tried to do everything that was less bad. So middle of the week when the place was empty. But anyways, it's not the best. So a lot of people that hadn't been going out decided to go out, and that started to escalate from there. And then Carnival came, and by Carnival, like 2 months after Christmas and New Year's Eve, people just they looked at the numbers. Brazilian people are very, we have a word in Portuguese, imediatistas. We look at the number like at the day. We don't we don't
Like
analyze recent past or predictions.
like short term thinkers.
Exactly,
Immediatista is a short term thinker.
exactly. We are short-term thinkers. So, the numbers are fine. Like only 500 people dying every day. So it's fine. And then people just continued and started, and that's kind of what happened.
Yeah. And like it seems like everybody got into this false sense of security over the last year. Is another thing. Is that I don't know, at the beginning of the crisis, everybody not everyone, but most people, a big majority of people acted reasonable, acted responsible. But then slowly people started doing things more uh, irresponsible, started going out, started going to bars, started seeing their friends, and then nothing bad happened. And so it seemed like, ah, maybe this isn't such a big deal. And then it happened more and more, and still nothing so terrible happened. And so then when the opportunity came for Christmas, New Year's, and Carnival, 3 holidays right in a row, everyone had already realized, had thought, had believed that they could go and do these things without any consequences.
Exactly, and that is a very very false sense of everything is okay, because when they see, like, people go out and they see, and nothing bad happened to me, nothing bad happened to the people around me, like the people that are like here in my house, nothing bad happened. But we teach and we have students, and when you have like 20 students, for example, 20 students, you have indirect contact with 80, 100, 200 people. And then I started to hear stories about each and every student. Oh, this guy got sick. Yeah, my grandma, my grandpa. And so I was lucky to have a good view of what was happening. I said, this is increasing. It's increasing because April, May, June last year, I heard of a little, or I heard of a few people that got sick. Now everybody knows somebody that got sick or died. Everybody knows somebody. So the wave is crashing.
Yeah, sure. Um, do you remember like back when all of this started? Um, do you remember what it was for you that made you realize that this was going to be a really big deal? This was a big, serious thing to really not be afraid of, but to really respect and take serious.
Yes, I do. I remember I started to hear stories on the news, and the virus that started in China, and then it went to other countries. There were 2 points that made me feel like, oh, okay, uh, this is something. First was, I don't remember chronologically which was first, but Uh, one point was when I got a message from my son's school saying they were closing. We're closing. I said, okay. My mom was in my house at that day. At the time I got the message, we're closing, and I said, Mom, she was going to spend a weekend here with Vito, with my son, and I said, Mom, I think I better take you home. Okay, let's go home, and you stay there. And from that day, I like that was March 15th probably, and I saw my mom in August maybe. I saw my mom again in August, and so that was the first time. And then, uh,
Only in
like
August, so that was six 6 months
yeah,
almost.
5 or 6 months, yeah. And my mom or my brother, because they live together, and
Mm-hmm.
um, my father sometimes he came here and he we went outside of the building and he was uh, at one point and I was at another with Vito, uh, but he could come. And but my father is healthy. He's older, like 67, but he's healthy. And the other was when I started to get news from Italy. Uh, and he, um, my friend, I have a friend that lives in Italy. So I called him up, and Italy, I think, was one of the first countries to be in a strict lockdown. Uh, so I called him up. I said, "Man, how are you?" "I'm fine. How are things?" Things are not looking great. And my friend is very skeptical of everything. He's he jokes around. He was serious. He said, "My God." So, uh, and then, like in the same week, 600, 700, 800 people started dying in Italy. And I remember the most shocking news I heard that they were choosing who was going to be attended at the hospital. So older people that are older than 80 wouldn't be able to get in because it was crowded. So if you're 80 or older, just, you hope you get better. So that shocked me. I said, Jesus Christ.
And
Uh,
that was in Italy, which is like supposedly advanced, developed country,
yes.
right? And so yeah, I know. I remember that also. I had forgotten about that until you just said, but now thinking about the Italy thing did really make me more scared because it wasn't. And the thing was, it wasn't in the bad part of Italy also, because there's
It was in the north.
exactly there's the southern part of Italy that everyone is knows is poor and not the most well developed, but this was in the northern part of Italy, which is like Germany,
Hmm.
and they still didn't have enough resources to follow these. Yeah, that was a really shocking moment. Um, for me, I remember I was actually in a class. I was teaching some students, and I realized that I shouldn't be there because they have a business, and I was there in their office trying to teach these guys that own a business. And I couldn't do class because their employees kept coming in every 2 minutes, asking them important questions about how to deal with what was going on. And they were like, not just routine, like, oh, who do we pay for this or where do I park? They were like, hey, what are we going to do when there are no employees here at the office? What are we going to do about all of the employees that can't come because they're sick? What are we going to, like, these type of questions that are serious emergency questions? And I realized, yeah, I'm not contributing, I'm not helping the situation by being out. And so as soon as I left class that day, I canceled the rest of my classes and moved to be totally online. And I think later that same day was the day that the NBA canceled,
Hmm.
and that was also a big moment for everyone when when the NBA got canceled and a bunch of other sports stopped around the same time. Is when people started to take this a little bit more seriously. I think. Yeah.
Yeah. A bunch of not a bunch of things started to get canceled. Video school, the NBA, oh, everything. Like things started to, nothing started to close. But then, um, very soon, there was the first lock. We never had a lockdown. A lockdown never existed in Brazil. People like to call it a lockdown. I don't know why, but we never had a lockdown. A lockdown happened in Italy, maybe in New York,
No,
and in other countries.
not in the
No,
same way. No, the Italy one, it was like a you would go to jail if you were on the street.
yes, exactly. And
And that never, nothing even close happened here. It was like
no,
a request to stay at home.
yes,
And I don't even know what would happen now. Now is 10 o'clock at night. What would happen if I went onto the street and was walking around?
you
I
get a
think
ticket.
nothing. I don't think anything would actually happen to me. Maybe a
The,
ticket.
yeah, depending on the city, you get a ticket, but that's $150. I don't remember, uh, but that's it. And at Villa Mariana, probably there will be a bunch of people that would say, just, oh yeah, sure, give me the ticket, I'll pay. It's okay. I'll pay for your salary.
Yeah.
Okay, so get out of here. What you're doing, you should be like chasing poor people, chasing bad guys, not me. So there would be a bunch of people saying something like that.
Yeah.
Here in San Caetano too.
Yeah. Or there'd be a bar with a bunch of cops hanging out at the bar. And they'd be like, man, what are you doing on the street? Come on, let's get you a beer, make you feel better.
Yeah. Just uh, I was today. I went to take uh, some groceries to my mother-in-law when I was coming back. Uh, there were four four bars open, just functioning. People, the bar functioning is one thing. It's wrong, and you say, well, why are they doing that? They're trying to go against the regulations. Sure, okay, and then people go
Yeah.
and sit at the bar, and there were people. There were people in the bar drinking. So, uh, what can you do?
Yeah, yeah. What are some of the like changes, the other changes besides, not being able to go out? Um what are some of the other changes in the last year that you've had to deal with that have been difficult for you? Like for me, I'm not the most social person. So having to make the switch to do online classes, to stay inside, to spend much more time alone, that actually wasn't the most difficult thing for me.
What was the what was difficult for you?
Um, difficult thing was the monotony of it. It ended up
Hence
being,
this podcast.
yeah, exactly. We started doing this podcast
Yes.
because every day, every week started just being the exact same, and we had to find something to add a little bit of spice to the situation. Yeah. What about for you?
For me, I think the most difficult thing um, was being home every day with Vito, with my son, and having to work and do and do house chores and everything. So my schedule, I was able to rearrange my schedule. I had to rearrange the classes because before I had like two, three, four classes in a row. and I couldn't do that anymore because I needed to be with Vito. So I had so I had to rearrange and spread them out during the day. One class, then nothing, then another class, then 2 hours to make lunch and have lunch and help Vito uh, eat, then class, then play with Vito, then class. So my day felt longer,
Yeah.
and so that was difficult. And it was difficult seeing Vito, seeing how Vito feels or felt and has been feeling because he hasn't interacted with it. Now he went back to school, so for 2 weeks he played with five other children. But he
Was it difficult for him? Was it awkward for him to be back with
no
kids, or was
no
it totally natural?
no. He was like glowing. He
Uh,
left like from sweat, and actually glowing from happiness. He was really happy when he got in, and when he got in, he was kind of like, I don't know this new teacher, but he went anyways. When he got out, yeah, daddy, I was. He was really happy and sweating, and he was running because they play outside all the time because of so they don't get confined, more confined, and so it was easy for him. Uh, but for the whole year, it was horrible to watch him just not do anything. He has his toys and TV, and then yeah, and me. But after a while, I get boring for him, and I need to work, and I need to, even when I'm not teaching, I need to do something around the house or prepare a class, or so that was difficult.
and it's really different, like kids interacting with adults, interacting with parents is a totally different thing than interacting with other kids, you know? Um, and like something that I loved interacting with people. I'm sort of antisocial, like I said, but I could do it. It's a skill that I have acquired. But now it's like difficult. It's awkward and it gives me a headache to talk to people.
Yeah.
And it even makes me like nervous now to be around other people. And I worry that maybe kids growing up like this will end up being like socially, I don't know, awkward. So I don't know. What do you think about how
Maybe
Vito is?
inattentive,
And
maybe misanthropes, maybe socially awkward. Yeah, I Vito hasn't been he. I don't I don't feel he's awkward or anything. He interacts the same. Uh, but again, I am usually awkward. My my family, we're like country people, we're quiet, we're kind of shy. Not my dad, but everybody else, we're all like that. Um, so Vito is kind of like that too. My my wife's family is the same. They're quiet. They don't they don't like big parties and interactions. So it hasn't been very different in that matter to Vito. Um, but I noticed they can get a little more paranoid than normal with because Vito sometimes corrects other people. Yeah, like no, you shouldn't shake my hand. We shouldn't hug.
oh no.
Uh, yeah. So and I tell Vito, I said, you're right, but look, I do you know why you're doing that? You know that's just now because of COVID. And I tried to talk to him and says, yeah, no, I know, but still, he knows, but he's too young. Something will be imprint in his mind. So
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. Things will be. I think Brazilian people will be a bit more like American or European people a bit more.
You think that Brazilian people are gonna like not lose because it's hard to lose something entirely, but lose a little bit that closeness, like giving everybody hugs all the time and kisses to greet people and just
I
this
think so.
warmth. You
I
think?
think so. Uh, I think this will be a lasting effect. Of course, some places more than others. Big cities like São Paulo, Curitiba, Belo Horizonte, big capitals, maybe this will happen. Uh, but like in like far away places or far away from here, just it's a wrong term, but places that are in the
Like
country, you know.
out in the country?
Yeah, out in the country or out in the like in the northeast,
Okay.
uh, areas that are different, you know, that are not cosmopolitan or metropolitan areas. This will still, I think things will still be normal. I remember one of my students went to Pará, which
Uh
is
huh.
in the north region, in like April or May last year. Her company said, "No, you got to go." I said, "You really?" She said, "Well, yeah, I'm getting the exam. I need a job, so I'm going." I said, "Well, okay." So she went, and when she got there, she sent me a message. Said, "Teacher, uh, nothing. There's no COVID here. I mean, there is, but nobody seems to
Nobody
pay
is
attention.
what? Nobody cares about it.
No, no.
Oh
COVID
my.
is just like a guy walking around, like, look, I'm gonna kill you all," and people are like, "Shut up." Just yeah,
Go ahead. You don't have enough bullets for all of us.
yeah, like, ooh, you're gonna kill us. So things are different everywhere, but I think in big cities, we're we're definitely going to feel that um, the the closeness will just fade for a while. Maybe it'll go back, but I don't know.
Do you think stuff like the masks, social distancing, being more careful about hygiene and these sorts health and these things, do you think that's going to last also? Like in the Asian countries, people have worn masks for years, even when there isn't a big pandemic, and you can see it sometimes in São Paulo. Before COVID, of course, I would see people wearing masks. Somebody Asian. Do you think that masks are going to become something that we just keep on doing?
No,
No.
no. People stop doing now. So uh, uh, if you just you don't need to get out to see that. You just need to go on to your window and look out, and then
Yeah.
you'll see a bunch of people without masks. What's going to prevail is social distancing, but forced social distancing, because a lot of companies, they just closed down their operation, not their operation, but the office, and they said no, no more office, stay home, uh, and they saved millions and millions of that, and they increased productivity.
Yeah.
Uh, so somehow home office, which was something that was being discussed, but companies were afraid. Now they were forced to do that, and they saw, oh, that's nice actually. We're saving millions of monies, and people are producing more. Well, that is great. So that will still be happening. No social distancing, forced social distancing. But masks, like washing your hands, no, I don't know. Not sure.
What about like I was talking to my dad a while ago, and we talked about this a little bit, and he said that maybe big events, things like stadiums um, or big concerts or things might be over, might not come
Uh,
back. What
Not
do
in
you
Brazil.
think?
Not in Brazil. Football games are back. A bunch of people are going there to watch. A bunch of people. A lot of people. A lot of people were on the streets when I think Palmeiras was the champion. A lot of people, thousands of people gathered in a block celebrating parties. It's still going on here. Every day, the federal police has to shut down a party with three, four, five, 8,000 people. So the events will not happen while the government doesn't allow it to happen, them to happen. But as soon as the government says, "Yeah, sure, it's fine. Go ahead," we're just going to go back.
Yeah,
Some things might change, some details, but they're still happening. Brazilian people love that.
for sure. I agree with you. When he said it, I didn't really believe him. He said that maybe technology, things like the virtual reality glasses, would become very popular, and that we would
Yeah,
do like sports or things this way.
maybe in America more than here, more so than here. And I think they will become more popular, but I don't think we will have less or will stop having events. I think two things, both things are going to happen. Uh, but I'm talking about Brazil, America. I don't know you guys that well. You know,
Yeah, I well, he said that he's not sure if he's gonna renew his season tickets to Blazer games,
oh my
even
God,
after the pandemic.
oh that's big. Andrew likes
Yeah, he
his
really
season
likes that.
tickets. Yes.
Um, but he said, I mean, why? I can just get, I can just get like 100-inch TV.
Yeah,
I can
that's true.
have the beer that I want. I don't have to drive.
Yeah, that's true.
Eh,
And he's been to a lot of games, right?
yeah.
But you think Dave would do it?
I think Dave is more likely to keep going.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah.
I
Dave
don't.
really likes games. He goes
I
to
can't
baseball,
explain why, but
football, basketball. He even goes to like American soccer games and
soccer games.
yeah, he goes. He goes to the Portland
Wait,
team,
wait.
which is not very good. The Seattle team is good for North America. The Portland
Sure.
team is not. And Dave goes to that team.
What do you mean by American soccer?
Well, come on, man. Because there's North American soccer and then there's South American soccer. It's like not even the same game.
Yeah, I I have to agree. I have to agree.
Uh,
Okay. Yeah. But I
um,
think events will still be happening. They are happening now.
there they are happening now, just underground,
Yeah. Not. Yeah. Kind of.
barely underground.
Yes. They just closed the doors, and you can hear. Like I can hear you guys. No, we're not here.
What?
So
No, no.
yeah,
Go away.
yeah.
Uh, well, do you think Vito is like old enough to remember this when he gets older?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes. Definitely.
Okay.
I don't know
Um.
how he will remember this. I don't know how twisted his memories will be. How different, you know. Like I don't know how he is going to mix it all up and remember this. But definitely he's old enough to remember, and
What?
this will be still happening for
For a
like a
while.
year. Yeah.
Yeah, that's true. What's your prediction on how when this ends?
I don't think this will end.
Hmm.
I don't think it's funny. It's nice that you ask because people every time we talk about it or we think about this, we think uh, and we say like, when do you think this will end? Like it's like we visualize one day, it's going, and then one day, poof, guys, it's gone. It it has finally ended. Uh, but it won't be like here in Brazil. It won't be like that. It was just maybe fade out or fade away. Uh, and I believe that in until the end of the year there will still be like, well, of course it will be going down the curve, but I think in December there will still be like 500 people dying every day, 400 people dying every day. I think because, for example, there's not enough vaccines. Our governor, not the governors, but our government uh, is not organized at all. Our people are not organized at all, me included. Um, I follow the restrictions and the rules, but as a people, as a group, we are not organized. We're not disciplined, uh, and we have a lot of qualities. Okay, and now I'm listing the good qualities. That now I'm listing all the bad qualities, the qualities that will affect this. But at this moment, at this point in time, they like they don't matter, the good ones, and unfortunately, so I think this will still be going. And when
Yeah, like it's really like simplistic to blame this on the government,
yeah,
but it's definitely part of it. And
yes,
I think you can see how how clear it's a part of it by the transition from in the United States before Trump and after Trump, because there was like a line where Biden entered and the COVID cases went down. And you can find lots of other explanations for it. But such a clear line of changing the government from one that is trying to do something from one that was not uh, just makes a difference. And I don't think the government can solve this problem. It's one that people have to solve by not going to the bar, not going to the beach, not being responsible. People have to do that, but the government can do a lot to help, especially
this is
like
uh,
by telling people not to go to the bar.
this is
That,
like a crash course. This is like a crash course on how life, political, social life should be. The government can only regulate and organize, try to regulate and organize, but it takes effort from the people to actually. Uh, that's what philosophers said. A bunch of philosophers said power emanates from the people. It's not that they will revolution. No, it's not revolutions. No, it's just that people have their lives and they make their decisions, and at least the most superficial ones. So it just comes to people, the ones that can choose, the ones that can make the decision. Uh, the government is there to try to regulate, try to organize, try to input some discipline or whatever rule, or but then it comes down to what people will do. If people decide not to do anything, then nothing will happen.
yeah, yeah. And I just saw just before we started recording, um, Ali showed me something, and it was like with only 15 or 18% of the population vaccinated in the United States, the COVID cases have fallen 70%. So it doesn't take a lot of vaccinations to make a big difference.
No, because the numbers, the COVID numbers, if you coldly analyze them, they're not big. Like Uh, a lot of people get infected, but not a lot of people die. It's just that there's too much like infection. So of course there's a lot of deaths. But the numbers, if you analyze the percentage and everything, it's not a huge number. Uh, so it means that a bunch of people are not immune, but they are strong enough not to get the virus or strong enough not to develop to something bad. So if you vaccinate the people that are
Im-
compromised,
yeah, that's all right. Immunocompromised.
if you vaccinate them, the number will get much lower. Uh, but one thing that I'm amazed at, is that the right preposition? At, amazed
Yeah,
at. So
amaze
surprised, surprised
at.
by, amazed at.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, somebody just asked Rodrigo, what is the what is the better thing to do about COVID? What is the best mafia mafia? What is the best thing to do about COVID? Stay home. Don't go out. That's the best
Yeah,
thing you can
just
do.
if you have to work, people. When I say when we talk about that, and we tell people stay home, don't go out. I always hear the same arguments, the same points. No, but what about the people that have to work? Oh, they have to work, so they have to go out. But if the other people don't go to bars, then the people that have to work, they don't have to worry so much about going to work. So just choose not to go to the bar. Choose to be home and get drunk at home. So the people that can't make that decision, the people that have to go out, they can go out with a with their mind at ease. Not at ease, but they can go out. I don't know. It's just better to go out. They won't get worried and crazy. Uh, so just if you can, if you have that possibility, try to stay home. Ah, but I need to go to the supermarket. Then organize and go to the supermarket. It's not prohibited. You can go to the drugstore. But some people, I need to go to the supermarket every day.
No. Or
Yeah,
if you can, have your things delivered.
yes. But if one day you need, go, but just get organized. It's
Yes.
simple. It's not that like but I need to, okay, you need to take a bunch of things to some people, some older people that can't, okay, you're gonna help them, but get yourself organized. Go once every 2 weeks, because that's the cycle of the virus. And things will be, respect the lines, respect the distance. When you're when
Wash when you get home. Wash everything. Wash your
yes,
hands. Take a shower. Wash all of
yeah.
it's
But
annoying.
there's no
I
proof that
understand.
this is really yeah. But then just wash yourself. What's the big deal?
Don't
Our
look.
president,
I heard that Brazilians like to take showers. Right? You take
three a
tons of
day.
showers all the time. So just take another shower.
Exactly.
What's the problem? Because one of this is this is related. It's kind of a scary story, but it's related. One of my students, his parents are 75, and in December they got the virus. They got COVID, and they didn't have to go to the hospital. They stayed at home. They had a little cough only, and within a week they were better. Except before the virus, um, they were very healthy people. They went to the gym every day. They went for walks. And his father, Luis, was actually one of my students. He was very smart, very intelligent guy. And after the virus, these people that were very healthy uh, turned 20 years older in a week. Today, they're frail. Their brains don't work as quickly. They have difficulty even to walk to the bakery to get a bread in the morning. Very difficult. So, um, you need to be very careful about the people in your life who are older, who have difficulty with immunity, and who are at risk. And so, um, yeah, that's just what you have to do. Either
Yeah,
just
I see a bunch of people complaining about the government now, when they should be complaining every day about the governor of São Paulo, about the mayor, about oh, where is the mayor? The governor is a dictator. Well, uh, all sorts of crazy things. When they should be complaining before, now, after, um, um, and but the government took this decision now of closing everything because it's been months that people are going to the beach every weekend and crowding the beaches and crowding the pubs and the bars and going to games and matches and having uh, big meetings at home with like 10, 20 people. I always like to say that the point in time that I was most worried, and I told my brother, uh, there were mainly two groups of people from the get go, from the beginning. People that were denying, kind of denying, but not worried, and saying, "Ah, that's it's fine. No, we can't close any. We can't close everything. We need to be open. You need to just go out." And people that were not deniers, but kind of, and the other people that were diehard progressive and saying, "No, stay home," and we have to everybody hold each other's hands and stay home and don't take your children out, don't take your children to school. And then after September, October, I started to see the progressive people changing their discourse, and they started to get out, and they started to say, look, I think we should start thinking about our children, because they started to be annoyed at the children at home for so long. Like, I can't take it anymore. The snowflakes, as we like to call them, and they started to shift their discourse and say, uh, "No, we this is too much. We need to responsibly reopen," or they just decided to not say anything and just go out. All of my progressive friends, they decided to go out, and they started going out, and they went out. So after September, October, before that, only the the first group were going out and getting out and being against the regulations. After September, October, everybody started to go out, and I told my brother, I said, look, I think now we should worry, because even the people that were defending stay home, the hashtag stay home movement, are getting out. So, uh, and things started to happen, continue to happen.
yeah. It was like a I don't know. Uh, people people just got tired, man. Um,
Yeah, yeah.
and uh, uh what what like in the far future, what is it that you're gonna really remember about this time in 10 or 20 years? What are there any big moments or any lessons that you learned, or yeah, what is it that's really gonna stick with you in 20 years when you're thinking about this?
Our president
Uh,
and his team, uh, our behavior, um, politicizing everything. Um, this is something that's been going on. For example, somebody goes on TV and says, guys, like somebody from the government or state government, whatever, they go on TV, guys, we're doing this, and it's just a health decision. Like you need to use masks. That's that's just a health decision, uh, healthcare decision, and then people, because people don't like to use masks, to wear masks, and they think, no, it annoys me, my ear, it gets in my ear, so they say, oh, you're, they politicize, and they say that that speech is politicized. I say, no, that's not politicized. Uh, it's just a decision. You have to wear masks. It's just a doctor saying you have to wear a mask. So in schools, if you say the Earth is not flat, oh, you're politicized. You're partial. You're progressive. Said, no, no, the Earth is not flat. No, 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 no. You're a communist. You say, wait a second. This is just a statement. It's not a political statement. This is just a statement. Everything is a political statement. So I remember this. This this happens to everything now. Everything is like that.
Everything is political now. You
Everything.
can't discuss anything without it somehow getting dragged into
And
politics.
everything really is political if you stop to analyze. But now the thing is not, the right sentence is not everything is political. Everything is, I don't know the word. Everything is uh,
Partisan.
partisan. Yes,
I think
not
that's
political.
better.
Yes, everything is partisan.
Yeah,
Um,
because like yeah, political. All right, everything might be political, but yeah. So the masks are are yeah. Everything can be political because you have to go through a political process to talk about it, and you have to maybe use the government. And politics is just getting people to agree to do a thing. That's what politics is. But things have become very partisan because now one party has decided that the other party shouldn't. So now masks are communist.
yeah, and the opposite happens too. If you say um, anything that doesn't doesn't agree with the progressive people, they say, no, you're a fascist. Say, "Well, wait, no, 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 I'm not. I'm just, I don't agree with that. So you're fascist. Say, no, no. So it goes for both. It goes both
Yeah, yeah,
ways. It's
goes both
weird.
ways.
It's weird. Uh, the pendulum swings from time to time, but now it's really crazy.
How do I say máscaras son necesarias? Masks are necessary,
Yeah.
right?
Yes.
Masks are necessary.
I can, you can really say that they're compulsory, but people like argue.
Yeah,
So they're necessary.
masks are necessary.
Yeah.
Yeah. Um, and well, anything else you want to say about COVID? Um, we already got your prediction on how things are going to end. I guess I didn't give you mine. I think we got away from it, so I'll tell you. Um, I thought when all this started a year ago that we would be done. Like the worst case scenario was that we would be done. We'd have everybody back to normal by the beginning of 2021. And so here we are now into March, and it looks like we're not going to be done anytime soon. Maybe not until 2022 or later. Um, and I'm not as pessimistic as my dad. I think that a lot of events are going to come back eventually, but I don't think we're ever going back. I think whatever world we left at the beginning of 2020 when this started is gone. Is gone forever. And whatever world that we go into whenever this goes away is some new world. And I don't know.
I can agree.
Interested. I'm interested to see what it is.
Yeah, I I can agree to that. I don't think in the beginning of all that, a lot of people said to me, but you see, I'm pessimistic naturally, or skeptical. I don't know. I'm skeptical to the point that I get pessimistic. But people used to tell me, no, I think there will be after this. Uh, People have this new way of thinking. People are going to start to worry about one another, and people start to care for one another in a different way because and and I said, when has that ever happened in history? That has never happened. That people started to like that. The world took a positive turn into like an enlightenment in everybody's mind. The world got better in practical ways in a lot of things. uh, but then a shift in the way people see things, the mindset of people. Now everybody's going to be enlightened because this disease will bring everyone together. Everybody will stay home and think about their wrongdoings and say like, I I think I I did do that wrong that time. So hmm, I might apologize to that person. No, people were staying home and being isolated, and they're like, uh, they're like scheming and planning. When I get out of here, I'm gonna get my revenge, and or I don't know. It's weird.
Yeah. Well, it's part of like I don't know human nature. It's part of who we are to just not admit that we were wrong, man.
Yeah.
That's not something that people will do. You might be able to convince them to change if you convince them that they were right all along.
Hmm.
And and changing was actually their idea. That's
This is this
that's the
actually one
best
of
way to convince what people to change.
this is actually a tactic or a strategy, speech strategy. When you're
Yeah.
talking to somebody and you want somebody to come to your side, you start by agreeing. You say, "Ah, I see that. I think we agree in many points. I agree with you in this point, but you're stupid." So uh, yeah, and then but you said you. I agree with you. You what you said makes sense. After that, you can say, "But you're so stupid," and you laugh it out, and uh, okay, so uh, yeah. I don't think
Yeah.
it's. I don't think this will. People will get worse. I don't think people will get better. I think things will just happen differently, and um, the circumstances and how can I say? Nowadays, people act so much because of their. I forgot the word. Convenience.
Act act out of convenience.
Yes. So people act out of convenience a lot now during the quarantine. If it's convenient for them to stay home, they post hashtag stay home, and then you're fired. Oh my god, I can't stay home anymore. So no, guys, stay home is stupid. No, no, don't stay home. Uh, that's only natural.
Yeah. Yeah. I think so. Um well, what about we'll end on a good note. We'll end trying to be a little bit more optimistic. Have there been any changes or things different in the last year that you've actually liked? I know we've been really like down and pessimistic
Yeah, but I think I'm
but
we're being pessimistic mostly because of me
and
because of the
me because of
and
us. That's who we are. But
because of the
let's
specific moment we are
yeah, now
now. It
is the worst moment of COVID for Brazil
yeah. So
until now. But
yeah,
maybe we can end the show today being a little bit optimistic and looking at any changes, any adaptations, anything that's gone different in the last year that's actually been good for us that we've liked. Like, I prefer classes in person. My English classes. I really like going to see people, and I miss doing that. But I do have to admit, it's a lot more convenient and flexible, and um, it's been nice doing the classes online. And so I think even after the crisis, I think I would keep doing online classes, even though I will miss seeing people. The difference is better.
this is that was actually really good for you because I remember you were a little resistant to online classes, and then you started doing it and you said, "Oh, okay, there's it's uh, it's
It's
not
a
as bad." And
trade.
then yeah, it's
It's
a
a
trade.
trade.
So, and then
And
after a while, you started liking and enjoying, and now you're really into online stuff,
yeah,
twitching, and not for being epileptic,
twitching.
just twitching.
Nice,
Yeah,
nice verb. Nice
yes,
verbalization. Is that
yeah.
how you
So,
say that?
you and Fabio used to twitch, but now you're twitching online. Okay, uh, that's a horrible joke, but then I gotta
Very
do it.
nice. I like it.
So yeah, and well, for me, the positive thing, I hate to say that, uh, but this will change my parenting forever. Uh, the positive thing was that I got to spend a year with Vito all day long, uh, and before Vito used to go to school full time from 8 to 4:30. Um, Now, and I had in my mind the idea that I have to work during the day, so I can't even that my job is flexible. I can't really have him around in the afternoon because uh, it would be weird. I wouldn't be able to handle uh, Vito at home, and now I had to do that for a year. So now I saw that he doesn't need to be at school full time with my flexible job like this. So I got to spend a year with him, and uh, I can give him a choice. Like, do you want to be at school full time, or do you want to just be part time? And part time, you stay home and you watch TV and you play with the children here, and you play video games if it's more into Fabio's style, or he just plays music if it's more into my style, or watches Star Trek if it's more into you and Tom's style. And you should talk about your new podcast in a moment.
Yeah.
But so yeah, uh, this was very nice, very very nice.
Um, uh, which do you think he would choose? Because you said earlier that he had so much fun being around the other kids.
Yeah.
So what do you predict Vito would choose?
Right now, um, it wouldn't be his choice so much because he's too young. So right now, I think because he was uh, he was off school for too long, I think I would give him that the full day with friends again. He spent
Mm-hmm.
a whole year, more than a year now, with me, with Daddy, with boring Daddy. So I would just say no, just go full time and it's fine. And also, so I can get back on track with my things. So for the next year, maybe full time, And but when he's 6.5 or 7, then I would ask him, "What do you
Okay.
prefer? You prefer to stay home or stay home?" Because he would go to karate or kung fu classes, swimming lessons. So, but at the moment, I think he would choose, and I would choose to send him full time, to still have him full time.
Right. That's cool. Um, another good point. It's kind of related to what I said earlier, and like Rodrigo said, I have another podcast. I just put the link up on the chat here. It's called Trekology, and I'm doing it with my other friend Tom. We're just gonna talk about Star Trek episodes and be nerds together, which is something that Rodrigo just isn't interested in. He's just not nerdy enough to hang out with the cool kids and do that. And another, it's another cool thing, I guess, about the last year is that it's given me time to do some of these projects that I've wanted to do for a while, um, and like start this podcast with Rodrigo, do something with Tom, two of my best friends. Just try to be more creative and do these little projects and get more into like video production, which is interesting and fun. Not really something that I'm like trying to do professionally. I'm not trying to make $1 million off of my Trekology podcast. It's just something fun for me to do. Um, and I'm really glad, I guess, that the pandemic came along and trapped me at home and gave me all of this time to learn how all of this works. That was that was a good point, I guess. Something nice.
Yeah. No, it really was. It really was. A lot of people had to learn a lot of new skills, develop a lot of new skills. A lot of people had time to learn English. A lot of people stayed home, so they had time to practice English. They had time. I'm not saying they did. They really did practice English, but they had time.
Yeah. They had
Yeah.
time.
So
I don't know if
yeah.
they did. Yeah.
So people have more time. Apparently, people have more time uh, to, how can I say, hone their skills. Is that a,
Hone. Hone.
yeah, hone their
Hone.
skills?
Hone.
Yes,
Yeah.
to hone their skills. So that was nice. That was nice. We're gonna get a lot of people, a lot of very skilled people, uh, in a very no, I won't say that. I would say that there will be no jobs for skilled people anymore because the quarantine took too long. But I won't say that. There will be a lot of skilled people, a lot of helpful people, and the world will get better.
Wow. Look at Rodrigo being optimistic.
Yes.
All right. I'll believe. I'll believe you. I'll say that by the end of this year, everything will not be back to normal, but will be better
Yeah,
because
exactly. Exactly. This will be like Back to the Future, but
yeah,
in a different way, like sideways. I don't know.
like it'll be like Back to the Future, but that future where everybody has flying skateboards and boots that shut themselves and clothes that have automatic drying and the future that's
Yeah.
awesome, not the future that sucks.
Yeah, or maybe Back to the Future, but future is really past. So, uh, so, so, like, oh wait, look, we just traveled to the future, and then you get there and, oh, wait a second, this is a typewriter. Where's all the computers?
A typewriter? Is this a future populated by hipsters?
Like, see, yeah, everybody's smoking like a bubble, um, not cigar. Um, what's the name of that? It's not a cigar. It's the thing cool people smoke.
Pipe?
A pipe, yeah, bubble pipe. Like, yeah, a bunch of hipsters wearing robes, smoking a bubble pipe. And
Exactly.
okay,
uh, Okay. Um, so I think that's it for today. Next week, we have an old friend of mine from my little town in Oregon. You guys can go look it up. Canby, Oregon is a tiny, tiny town of only about 10,000 people. And yet somehow, me and this other guy I grew up with both ended up in Brazil. And Justin lives in Minas Gerais. Oh man, Rodrigo, do you remember the name of the city?
Uberaba?
Ita,
Ah, Itajubá, Itatiba.
Itajuba. Yeah. So this guy from a little tiny city in the United States, just like me, he ended up in Minas Gerais in Itajuba. But first, he spent a couple years in Africa, learned that he had this great knowledge of languages, and then just decided to come to Brazil for no reason whatsoever. And we're going to talk to Justin. We're going to find out why he did that, what's he doing in Itajuba, and how life has been treating him for the last few years here. So look forward to that. We'll see everybody next week. Thanks for watching. And shout out to the new followers that we got today that I got on Twitch. Captain Brenner and Mafia, thanks for following. Check us out.
Follow us on YouTube.
Exactly. Go to YouTube and look at all of our old videos. Some of them are pretty cool.
Here on Twitch, you guys get to see Ryan, but on YouTube, you guys get to see me too.
Exactly.
So it's even
And
better.
you can follow Rodrigo by himself on Instagram.
Yes.
So
At teacher Rodrigo, at teacher on the
Exactly.
line Rodrigo. Yeah.
like it is down here. I'll point right there underneath his name. It says Teacher Rodrigo. Go follow him on Instagram. And otherwise, see you guys later. Have a good night. Bye, everybody.
Bye.